Hey, this is Matrix Prime of TFWire.com, and I know it's been a while since my last review, so I thought I'd kick off 2008 with a doozy. Yes, I said doozy, by reviewing the Transformers Animated Starscream figure. Now, this is not an actual store release. This is actually a dealer sample, which I acquired from eBay. And the only difference between this and the actual store release that we're going to be getting is that this did not come in any official Transformers Animated packaging, and it didn't include any instructions. Now, I was going to throw the packaging away anyways, and to be honest with you, the transformation on this figure can't get any more simplistic, so instructions really aren't needed. So let me just go ahead and spin the figure around here so you can get a good look at it. Now, if you've been watching the Transformers Animated cartoon on Cartoon Network, or if you know anything about Transformers, you know that Starscream is, of course, a jet. However, he's not just any jet in animated. He is a backwards jet. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. If you look at the main wings, you can see that they're facing backwards here. And let me go ahead and show you the figure from the side. If you look at the tail fins, those too are also facing backwards. Now, I don't know if Hasbro did this to sort of tie in with Starscream's personality or just go for something different. But what we end up with here is a pretty kick-ass looking jet mode. Now let me go ahead and talk about the color scheme here. Now if you're watching the cartoon, you can probably notice that there's a little bit of a difference here in terms of the color scheme on the toy. In the cartoon, Starscream is more of a grayish color. Here the primary color is more of a bluish / purple mixture. There's probably a little bit of gray in there as well, but it's definitely different than the cartoon. It sort of reminds me more of a Thundercracker color scheme rather than the classic Starscream color scheme that we're all used to. But I think it actually works quite nicely with this mold. Now, in addition to the main color, we also have maroon, which as you can see appears here behind the cockpit area. It appears here on the stripes on the wings, and it also appears here on the tips of the rear wings. And we also have some maroon striping up here along the nose. And we also have some black, which as you can see appears here on the tip of the nose. We also have black here on the front of the intakes. And we also have black back here on the thrusters and on the rear main portion of the jet. Also appearing is gold, which as you can see the Decepticon symbols are painted, and those also appear here on the underside of the jet as well. Now we also have a translucent orange plastic here covering the cockpit area, and you probably won't be able to see this in the video, but inside there we actually have a molded gray seat, and we also have a molded gray instrument panel. So the attention to detail on this figure is quite nice. Now let me go ahead and set the figure down here and show you the landing gear. You can push it along a little bit and it rolls ever so slightly. It doesn't move much, and there's a reason for that. If we look here at the front landing gear, it's just this little plastic wheel that hardly spins at all. And if we want to retract that, we simply push that back down and lock that into place. If we look at the rear landing gear here, the wheels are a little bit better as they spin quite a bit more than the front, but again, they're not all that great. They are plastic. If we want to retract those, they are spring-loaded, so we can push them down to a point where the spring will take over. And then if we want to latch it down completely, we just go ahead and push it down. It will lock into place. Go ahead and do that to the other side as well. Lock it down into place. So that's pretty much it for Starscream here in jet mode. Now you might have noticed the spring-loaded missiles sticking out of the back here. Them can face forward. In fact, I think you would want them to face forward. I don't know too many jets that shoot backwards like that. So you just take the missiles, swing the guns down. You will notice a little notch here, and that's to wrap around the leg. Simply fold them forward. And Starscream now has firepower in jet mode. Now the springs in this dealer sample are pretty powerful, so these things shoot pretty far and with quite a bit of force. I don't know if that's going to be the same with the actual store release or not, but on this thing I actually want to remove these while I transform it to robot mode, as I've nearly shot myself in the eye a couple of different times now. So let me just give you one more quick view of the toy here in the jet mode. And that is Starscream in jet mode. Now let me go ahead and flip the guns back here, and I'll show you the transformation to robot mode. Now to start, you want to take the thruster area here and separate it from the main portion of the body. Let me go ahead and flip the figure back upside down, put my thumb right here on the guns, grab the legs, and flip them down here. Now as I'm flipping this down, you will notice that the nose of the jet is actually folding inside. And at this point, I can move the arms out, and upon doing so, you will notice that the back area here will fold down on its own. And as I fold this down completely, the rest of the nose will go up inside the cockpit area and hide that. So let me go ahead and get the legs down into place here. I want to get them straight, or else the figure's going to sort of lean on an angle. Fold the feet down here. There are quite a few joints in the legs, so it might take a minute or two here just to get the figure standing up straight. It is doable. Get the arms down here into place. Now if we look at the back here, actually let me show you this first. There's two little panels here, and those panels can separate and fold out. Now I'm not quite sure why that is. Again, I don't have the instructions, so I'm not quite sure why that is, but you can do that. And if we look here in the back section, there's a little hook here, and there's a hole down here for that hook. Now this doesn't actually lock into place, it just sort of hooks in there and just stays. Let me bring Starscream back around here to the front so you can see him. Get the legs adjusted again so he's not standing on an angle. Again, it takes a little while to get him to stand straight because of all the joints in the legs. So he might be a little cockeyed here in my video, but well, maybe I can get him standing straight. There we go. Okay, so there's Starscream, and he's now standing straight. So let me talk about articulation here. The color scheme is practically the same, so I won't mention anything on that, but let me talk articulation. The head has no side-to-side movement, but you can move the head up and down, as you can see there. As for the arms, they can rotate here at the shoulder. As you can hear, it's a nice locking joint. You can move the arms in and out at the shoulder. You can bend the arms here at the elbow, as well as rotate them there. The hands can open and close, and the thumb can also clamp down and open. As far as the legs are concerned, you can move them in and out of the body. You can move them forward and backward. There's also a joint between the waist and the knee, which allows the leg to rotate there. And you can also bend the leg at the knee. And the feet can move forward and backward, and they can also pivot side to side ever so slightly. Now the only thing that I think the toy is missing in terms of articulation that would have improved it a little bit is the waist articulation. And let me flip this up here so you can see. If you look here in the way it was designed, we have these two solid plastic pieces coming down here. So there's absolutely no way we could have gotten any movement there in the waist. But it would have been nice to see. Again, there's not anything major against the toy. It was just something I would have liked to have seen. Let me lock this back into place here. There we go. Now in terms of size, let me go ahead and bring Movie Starscream in. This is a Voyager figure. And as you can see, they're pretty similar in height. Not much of a difference there. Let me go ahead and move Movie Starscream back out of the way. Now, one other thing I like about this figure, before I show you the guns, is that it's got this translucent orange plastic in the back of the head here. And you probably won't be able to see it here in this video. But the light shines through there really well, and the eyes and the mouth light up, and it looks really, really awesome. So, that's definitely, the light piping on this figure really improves the figure's personality in terms of the face design. Now let me go ahead and show you the missiles here. Insert them back into the missile launchers. And there we have Starscream with the missile launchers and missiles in robot mode. Now you can pose this thing in quite a number of ways. Again, the legs have quite a bit of articulation, so you can probably get some really cool poses out of this thing. And with the way you can move the arms with the missile launchers attached, you can probably come up with some really great poses. Overall, I think this is a really outstanding figure. I'm glad that I decided to buy the dealer sample off from eBay. This is one of the figures I was looking forward to since we first saw the prototype images of this thing back, sometime last year. If you're a hardcore fan, you might want to try checking out and getting one of those dealer samples off from eBay. It's a definite must-buy in any case, whether you buy it off from eBay now or you wait for the official store release. You can't go wrong. It's got a really kick-ass alternate jet mode, and the robot mode looks absolutely fantastic, especially with the matte color scheme that we have now on these figures. And if this is just a sample of what we're going to be getting here with the rest of the animated line, Hasbro is going to be getting a bunch of my money here in 2008. So again, this is a definite must-buy for me, and I'd say it's a definite must-buy for anyone who's into Transformers. It's an absolutely fantastic-looking figure. Alright, so this is Jesse signing off for the Starscream animated review.